Welcome to the Virginia is for Laughers podcast, brought to you by the funny Womacks and Friends. If you're looking to get more out of your Shenandoah Valley experience, then this is the podcast for you. You'll meet interesting people, musicians, and comedians that perform here and find out more about what you can do and see. Whether you live here or plan to visit, listen to explore what makes our unique slice of heaven. Now here's your host, Dawn Davis Womack.
Hello, Laughers. We're so excited to have a powerhouse in the comedy scene joining us today. Chris Allen is a national touring stand-up comedian and podcaster based out of Washington, D.C. His razor-sharp storytelling, quick-witted crowd interactions, and ability makes every show unique and unpredictably hilarious. He shared stages with some of the biggest names in comedy, including Michael Che, Mark Norman, Neil Brennan, Hannibal Buress, and Roy Wood Jr. His debut comedy special, Gotta Be Honest, produced by Mark Norman, can be found on YouTube. He also hosts The Chris Allen Show, a weekly podcast available on all streaming platforms. We're excited to dive into his career journey, the challenge he's taking on with us, wink, wink, and how we can build more synergy between our comedy scenes just less than an hour apart. Welcome to the show, Chris. It's great to have you on today.
How you doing, Dawn? How you doing?
That's your Barry White voice.
Yeah, how you doing? Hey, what's up, Dawn? Thanks for having me.
It's a joy to have you here today. We talked so much before we press record.
I know.
We already did the podcast.
I know. I thought that was the pod. Y'all get on the Patreon. Y'all missing all the good stuff. It's only $100 a month, so get on there, check that out. But the intro was, man, that's a lot. You sounded great. You made me sound accomplished.
Yes. Well, you are.
You know what? Yeah, I'm learning to accept my my wins.
You should.
Know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I used to hate hearing about it, but you read the bio and it's like I've done some pretty cool things.
Yes.
And I've done a lot of things that I wanted to do when I first started. I've been very, very fortunate. Am I where I want to be? No, but I'm on the road to being where I want to be. And I really couldn't ask for a better career. You know what I'm saying? So I got a long way to go, but I'm very thankful for the things I've done up to now, including this podcast.
Well, thank you for that, Chris. You've been doing comedy how many years?
Oh, man, about 2-3 years now? 13.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
That sounds
13.
more like it. Yeah, I think I met you when I went to the Charlottesville open mic. I think my first one was 2017.
Damn.
No. Was it 2017?
18?
18,
or 16?
I think.
18?
No.
That's still a while. We've known each other for a while.
Yeah, we have. So I'm really excited to have you on here, and I'm really excited to hear more about your story and talk about some exciting things coming up, which is why we're bringing you into the area. So let me just give the Laughers a couple of quick announcements. And
sure.
First, Laughers, I've got something for you to listen to between episodes, so you don't have to listen to me all the time. You can grab a free audiobook from Audible, and we have to give them a big shout out for supporting our show. Just head to the show notes and grab that free audiobook today. Also, secondly, big announcement is this is very new, kicking off a comedy club at Massanutten Resort. And we're super stoked about that. And it's going to be FWAF shows, just like if you've come to them before, top tier talent, local, regional, and national touring comedians, where we bring in people like our guest today, who is doing his first major clean-ish comedy show with us.
Yeah, I'm excited. Well,
yeah.
Congratulations, guys.
Yes,
that's awesome.
Thank you. It's a weekly show. You could check it out. You could Google Comedy Club Massanutten Resort. We'll also put that link in the show notes for you as well. So that's pretty excited. I know, Chris, personally, Laughers, you really need to come check this out because you have to.
You better.
It's going to be like a baptism.
Yeah. If you don't, I'm a veteran. So if you don't, that means you do not like America. You don't support the troops.
That's
How can you not support the troops? I'm a wounded warrior. You got to lay it on thick. I have PTSD. I'm a veteran, a disabled vet, trying to feed my family and make fellow Americans laugh. And if you don't want to see that, hey, just keep enjoying your freedom. Hey, I'll just. I wish we had like some. We had some like some soft music playing in the back. People weeping. We gotta go see this guy. But yeah, come on out. I'm super excited. I'm so excited for you guys. I know you want to interview me, but can you even tell me like how'd you find out? Like, what was the news? I love hearing people getting life-changing news. Like, how did you feel? You know what I mean? Like, can you go into it or not really?
Oh yeah, I can give some general information.
Yeah, please give me.
Sure.
I love hearing that. Like, I want to hear about the email or the phone call or whatever it was that you got where you're like, we got it, and y'all start crying and shit stuff. That's one. Gosh darn it.
See, Laughers, you will be able to witness how well he does with this. Clean the cleanest brand when you come to the show, but I know he's going to crush it. I've seen him perform several times, and
I'm gonna crush that.
Yes, you are, and I'm going to be there sharing the stage with you to have a front row seat, and I want Laughers to come out and be there with us to see it themselves. It's going to be amazing.
You should do, Dawn, as Booker, when you're taking a risk on a guy like me, you got to. You get to pay. You got to get it in cash. Get it in cash. Get it in ones, right? And every time I slip up, you just rip up $1 in the back.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah. It's probably happened in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? You know what's happened. Every time some guy swore, they just ripped it up. Oh, man.
Put it in a swear jar. Maybe we'll stick one up there for you.
Oh, yeah. That would be funny. And then it's like, once you do a clean show, you get it. And it's like $10,000 in there. I've come back for years and I just can't do it.
All the money you were supposed to make will be in the Chris Allen swear jar.
Ooh, Dawn. Since you guys have a comedy club, I'm going to be shooting some stuff for a web series I wrote.
Oh,
we might need a shooting location.
That could happen.
I know the owners.
Well, that's a little bit of a stretch. It's more of a partnership, but yeah.
I'm trying to, all right.
But let's talk about that. It was a really exciting time. I got a call from the vice president of operations out there about a month ago, and they had been exploring this idea and floating around for over a year. And one of their staff had met me at a chamber event, like last year at some point, and I made a connection, and they were looking to do this and gave my name to him. Said they had heard nothing, hadn't been to a show, but they heard nothing but good things, and that he might want to check it out. And he invited me to a meeting, and my husband and I, the other funny Womack, went to meet with him and talk about what that might look like and have a conversation. It went really well, and now here we are.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
That's great. And it's all networking.
Yeah.
That's what, I know probably a lot of younger comics listen to this show. And if y'all listen to that, she was out and about. You don't get anything sitting at home. That's why a lot of young comics, this person's getting booked. They're doing it. It's just like, you're not going out and mingling. You went to these events. You met a person. They didn't even see the show, and you got a comedy club based on your reputation alone. And that's how people get booked. Sometimes people, hey, I even saw you, but somebody else said you were great. That's the same thing. All right. Most people book shows. These people book their club off of reputation. So that should be something that people take note of. You got to get out there, do the work, build a reputation, and things happen. Right?
Yeah. And not overnight.
Not overnight. Yeah. It takes a while.
It does. We didn't have our own building from the very beginning. When I did my first show, it was at Restless Moons Brewing in March 2018. I had 10 minutes of comedy at the time. And the new owner came in, and he saw this comedy sketch troupe that I was a part of, but was no longer active. And he reached out to that group, and he said, hey, I'd like to have comedy at my brewery. Would you all be interested? And because we were not active at the time. I asked the rest of the group, hey, I'm starting to do stand up. Do you mind if I reach out? And they were like, no, go for it. So I reached out to him, said, I'd love to do a comedy show. I can make it happen. He said, wonderful. With my 10 minutes of stand up comedy, I reached out to another connection I had, which was our James Madison University improv troupe, the student improv troupe. And I was like, how about you guys do an hour in improv? I'll host open the show with my 10 minutes of stand up, and that'll be the show. And that was the first show.
There you go. You were smart. You filled it up. You filled up the show. You did your thing up top, and you let them take over. That's great. That's smart.
Yeah. And then
you did your thing.
I did. And then we did one show a month for 19 months. And then, God bless you. And then the pandemic hit and that changed things. God bless you again.
Thank you.
And so it's pounding the pavement and making connections. I just feel that building relationships is more important. The bag is important. The money is important, but
the bag,
the bag. But it's important to build relationships for many reasons. And I'm a people person, and I like building relationships with people and get to know about them and their family and their business and their life. And so it becomes more than a money transaction. It's a lot richer than that. And then when they need something that they know that you have, it becomes very natural to do another transaction with a friend, like a sincere friend. So, yeah.
So true. That's so true. Yeah. You figured it out. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, you got to win over the hearts and minds of people, not just the wallets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not just about, because you kind of see that with in social media, like YouTube, and I never really paid attention to it until I started watching more YouTube. But you'll take someone who has like 1 million subscribers, and then you look at their videos, and then you go, this only has 12,000 views. This has 9,000 views. So it's like they have a bunch of subscribers, but they don't have a lot of like of faithful watchers. You know what I mean? So like it's like the quality over quantity kind of thing. And it's just like they might have 1 million subscribers, but that doesn't mean you're making all that money because you're not getting the views. Now, if you had 1 million subscribers and you're getting 1 million views on every video, that's a different story. Or even if you have 50,000 followers, subscribers, and you're getting 50,000 views, that's way better than 1 million and you're getting 9,000. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like, man, people just freaking, we want so much shit, man. I don't know. Sorry.
See, you're going to go for a ride.
Oh my God. See, I'm used to doing podcasts. All right. Cleanish podcast on now. Bam. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Gosh darn it.
There you go.
Like, ripping up another dollar. Sorry, everybody.
No, I think connections are really important. I'm glad for our connection. I think we're going to be able to really help elevate the local talent and regional talent around here with this opportunity. So certainly we're excited for ourselves, but we're even more excited about the doors this will open for local, regional, and national touring talent to have another place to stop and share their comedy with people and have audiences laugh and connect through the joy of laughter together.
Yeah.
It's going to
blow up.
It's going to
blow up.
Yeah.
It's going to be it's right between Richmond and DC. Like there needs to be another spot too. And it's out of the way.
Yeah.
It's out of the way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think like I think people are really going to enjoy like, oh, I'm in DC this weekend, but it's like, oh man, I was up in the mountains a couple of days before at a resort. The club was great. I had so much fun, and now I'm in the hustle and bustle of DC, or not. Then I'm headed back to New York. But it's just like, man, that Massanutten was nice.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I think it's going to do so well because it's out of the way. I think so many comics are going to enjoy. Like, yo, it's a resort in the mountains.
Yeah,
cleanish. I get this. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm in. Oh, it's going to be great.
It is going to be great. And we can still have our clean comics and mix it all up. And I love bringing a diverse group of comics together and their styles and their thoughts and their perspectives. And I feel like that we need unity more than ever. and that it is way okay that we think different than each other. And that doesn't mean we can't share a friendship or a conversation together or an experience
Right.
together. And I think that there's a place for this. And it's really exciting. And I talked to Massanutten, and we both believe we can build something really special here. And that's
It's gonna be dope.
it is going to be dope. I'm excited. So
Man.
see, this is what also happens when you have a podcaster on a podcast with another podcaster, because then they interview each other the whole way through.
I know. I'm so sorry. I know.
But we're here to find out about you. And
Yes.
I wanted to ask you, how did you get started in comedy? What was your first, how did this happen? And when did you realize you wanted to pursue it full time? So how did you get started? And then when did you realize you wanted to pursue it full time?
I started January of 2008, and I started because I didn't feel fulfilled in my life at all. You know, I was always asking my friends in high school, like, is anybody doing anything cool? Anybody acting, music, writing anything? Is anybody doing anything? And nobody had done anything. I don't know why I was looking to other people for that. I don't know if I was looking for like permission or if anybody found a path, you know what I mean, to doing something like that. And then it hit me one day. I'm like, why don't you do something? Why don't you do something? And shortly after that, I got orders to Las Vegas because I was still on active duty. And I was like, I took that as a sign. I go, you know what? Vegas is the entertainment capital of the world. I've been toying around with this idea of doing comedy. I have been told I've been funny for years, and I never thought I could do it, but maybe I can. Let me just give it a shot. It's crazy that I looking back, like I can't believe that I came to the decision to do it. I really can't. I really can't. So yeah, I went to tech school and where did I go to tech school? I went to tech school for Intel in Texas for about 6 or 7 months, and I was writing jokes and all that kind of stuff. And then I got back. We moved. I got back to Colorado where I lived. I started doing research on the Las Vegas comedy scene and all that kind of stuff. So when I got there, I already knew who people were. These were the MySpace days. So I friended like all these Vegas comics. So then I get to Vegas and I told myself I'll give myself 6 months to try it. And I get there in December of 2007. And I don't know what it was, but it was January. It was like January 17th or 18th, but it was Martin Luther King Day, 2008, Monday night. I was like, screw it, I'm going. And I went to a mic. And I went up for the first time. But the week prior, I did go and check it out.
Okay.
I went and checked it out. And
All right.
yeah. And I was like, oh, I could do this. Because I went there, I sat up front, and I didn't find most people funny. And then, they were funny, but I had never seen comedy this unpolished. Right. And I was like, this is kind of weird. This isn't what I'm used to watching. You know what I mean? It's almost like if you only watch the NBA, right? And then that's all you ever saw. And then one day somebody took you to the Y and go watch these 40-year-old guys play. And you're like, it's like, I know this is basketball, but I've never seen it at this level. You know, this is not what I'm used to.
Yeah.
Because I grew up on, Martin Lawrence and all that. I was like, I've never seen this. But then this one dude comes in, his name is D-Lay, and he is exactly what I thought it was going to be. And at the time, D-Lay was like the most polished comic in DC. He came up, he had sweatpants on, like he didn't have a notebook. He was just so smooth with it. It seemed conversational, and I was like, that's what I want to do. That's it right there. Because I'm watching like, that ain't what I want to do. That's not it. That he's okay. But when D-Lay got up there, I was like, this is what it needs to look like. That's the comedy I recognize. And I was like, I got to try it. So yeah, that next week I came back. I got super drunk. My wife came with me. I went up and I forgot my notebook. So my wife is yelling my premises up to me. And it's really bad. I'm bombing. The host is trying to light me to get me off stage. I'm like, man, F you, I ain't getting off stage. I attacked him when I go up there, talking about his shoes, his outfit. I talked about the comic that was before me. Like, they told me that guy quit because of me.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's what they told me. I don't know if they were messing with me, but they were like, yo, that guy quit. I go, no, he didn't. They go, did you ever see him again after that? I go, no. They go, yeah, he used to come regularly.
Oh, wow.
You made that guy quit. So I was a complete jerk my first time. Wouldn't get off stage, bombed. I was drunk. And of course, cocky after I got off stage. You know, what did we learn from that? And that's what my boy Keon, his name, we call him Booyah. As soon as I came off stage, he was like laughing, shaking his head. He was like, come here, man. Like he was like, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, you don't go up there. You don't attack the host. You don't attack the comedian before you like that. And then when they like you, you got to get off stage, man. He's like, everybody's mad at you right now, basically.
Yeah.
Like I was that guy. I was the guy. I came in. I was drunk. I wouldn't get off stage. I attacked the host.
Wow.
And the other comic. Like, if somebody came to my show and did what I did,
you probably wouldn't be on another one of your shows, I imagine.
Yeah, I would. But you know what, Dawn? But that's why I try to show people grace, because I know I've done it. You know what I mean? I try to show, and my thing is just like, just be like, yo, my bad. Okay, now we can move on, because I make mistakes all the time.
People
but don't,
make mistakes,
but don't come at me like I'm wrong for checking you.
Mm-hmm.
Just admit when you're wrong, and we can move on, man. We can. For most things, I can move on from most things. I was in the military. I mean, we had to bury the hatchet on some pretty serious stuff with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like, things would get pretty heated between, these are grown men in the military.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We're angry. There's a lot of stuff going on in people's families, personally, socially.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I mean? And we had to bury the hatchet with some serious things, some serious stuff, and work with these people. Yeah. You got to get over a lot of stuff that you don't like. A lot of things that you hear people say, you got to learn to just get over it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And not let it, because it's a lot of stuff. There's nothing you can do. So,
So you look back you look back at that experience going, that was not ideal. It was not ideal. I did not handle that well. So
I did not.
So what did you decide? Did you go up again soon, or did you take a break from?
I went up again. Okay. I went up again. And you know what's funny? I don't remember a lot of early sets, like, at all. Like, I don't really remember a lot of the sets at Pounders. I do remember this. I do remember I was very fortunate. My first sergeant at the time, his wife worked for Harris Casino. She was their marketing person, and she would get free tickets to shows. And I'm literally 10 shows into my comedy career, because I used to keep a track at that point. Mm-hmm. Everyone at my job knew I was doing comedy, because of course, I'm a new comic. I can't shut up about it. I'm telling everybody that I'm a comedian. And my shirt goes, yo, we got tickets to see Kevin James and Ray Romano. Do you want to go? Since you're a comedian, I'm like, heck yeah. So, I mean, I'm with the Harris marketing, VP. I'm backstage. I'm being treated like a comedian. I'm meeting Ray Romano and Kevin James.
That's pretty amazing.
It's insane. It's pretty crazy. And I actually get to walk to the showroom with Ray Romano, and we get to talk for a couple of minutes. And that was the first time I was ever around somebody that big. Mm-hmm. And there are people who are waiting to go in the show, and they see him. So I'm walking with him, like, along the wall, and people are like, Ray, 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 Ray. And it's just, I get this really kind of cool feeling of like, dang, this is what it feels like to be a comic. I'm kind of like behind this VIP wall, and people are looking at Ray Romano. They probably wonder if I'm a good comedian, because, like, as a young comic, that's all you care about, is being seen as a good comic. Not that if you are or not, you just want to be seen as a good comic, So it was just really cool. And real quick, the conversation I had with Mr. Romano, he actually told me, he was like, yo, I'm kind of jealous of you in your position. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah. He goes, yeah, this is cool. He's like, people know who I am and all that kind of stuff. But he goes, I can't tell a joke and get an honest response because of my TV show. Because of this, actually, this was after the show. Everybody was trying to get pictures with him. He goes, so like, he's like, you can go into a room and get an honest response. He was like, I just missed those days where I could just walk into a room and just tell a joke. And from that moment, like, I was like, this dude really loves comedy. Like, I'm 10 shows in and I can see how much Ray Romano loves comedy, even though at the time I don't understand it, but I know that he loves it. But now that I've been doing it this long, it's like, man, that was a very special and honest moment that I got to share with Ray Romano.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I didn't fully understand what he meant by that, but even though I still don't, because I'm not on that level, but looking back, I was like, dang, for that guy to be that open and honest with me was crazy.
Yeah.
And then years later, I'm at the Comedy Cellar. This is probably like 3 or 4 years ago, and now I know too much. I know how big he is.
Yeah.
And now it's like, hey, Mr. Romano, I don't want to bother you, but I met you, you know what I mean? And I got to tell him the story really quickly. And it was like, oh, okay, cool. All right. You know, but I got to see him again. But I wonder if he thought about it.
Yeah.
I wonder if he thought about it, because it's like, yo, I met you in Vegas when I was 10 shows in. And here I am 10 or 12 years later. I'm sitting at the Comedy Cellar at the table, and I'm like, hey, man, we met before. He had to be like, this kid really did it. You know?
Yeah.
He stuck with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was really cool.
That is really cool.
That was cool. That was really freaking cool.
It is really freaking cool. And Lord knows how many people he met in comics.
I know.
Between your 10 shows in and the time you saw him years later. Lord only knows. Yeah.
He was like 10 shows. He was like, that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, he kind of, you know how sometimes you just look at a newborn baby like, man, it's so small. And God, like, that he was just like, he's such a baby. There really was a little bit of jealousy. Like, if I could just get to that spot again.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what's crazy, like, if you do this for a while, we don't even have to make it to Ray Romano's level to understand what he means. Because like after a while, you decide like, I do want to do this for real. And you start making just a little bit of money, $100 a show. Like you're not able to hang out with your friends and stuff like you used to. You know what I mean? So I can't imagine when you guys are making tens of thousands and millions of dollars a show, or $1 million in comedy a year, you have your own TV show. Right. You know what I mean?
It gets busier and gets busier.
It gets busier and busier. Yeah. Like me and Winston used to hang out all the time. He's in DC doing stuff. I'm here doing my thing. I don't get to see my dude like that. And we're not even like big household names or even like on anybody's radar. You know? But there has to be something that's really cool though, when you make it and you see your friend's face on a billboard, or you see like, oh my God, my friend has a TV show, and it takes you back to those, man, we should do the Southern together.
Yeah. We
should do this together. You know, that's so cool. That's so cool.
It is so cool. Well, you guys are on my radar. So Chris is talking, Laughers, about Winston Hodges, who actually is helping us kick off this comedy club. By the time this podcast drops, that will have already happened. So Winston Hodges is certainly getting on people's radars, and I think you're selling yourself short, because you are too.
But you know what I mean? I'm not a national big name.
Yeah, bigger. Yeah. Yet.
Yeah.
Yet.
Sometimes I feel like it's never going to happen, but you can't think that way. You know, you just got to keep plugging away.
That's right. Keep going one day at a time. I like to say one show at a time. One show at a time.
Yeah.
One show at a time.
And I'll say this real quick. Everybody's on their own timeline. Everybody, they might break big in their first 5 years, and then, you know, their first couple of years. And then for the next 7 or 8 years, they're in the trenches. Somebody might break after 15 years. It's like everybody's break is at a different point, and their hot streak is for a different length. And we just have to accept the fact that everybody's path is completely different. And one thing we can't do is compare. That's one thing Joe List talks about. And I think Tom, I almost said Tom Sawyer. God dang it. What's the name? What's the author? Who wrote Tom Sawyer? I can see his face.
Mark Twain. No.
Mark Twain. Yeah, Mark Twain.
Yeah.
Comparison is a thief of joy. I believe he
Yes.
might have said that. And that's so true. That's something that List always says. Comparison is a thief of joy. And that's what a lot of people do. You know, people, we get on social media. This person has 100,000 followers, 600, 700,000, a million. You know, they're doing this. I'm funnier than them. And you can't even enjoy the path that you're on, you know? And it steals all the joy that you have. So don't do that.
Yeah. I agree.
And what's crazy is, somebody's looking at you like, I wish I was that guy, or I wish I was that girl. And you don't even realize that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And I think that's very human for us to do. And so when it happens,
it is.
Recognize the thought, then let the thought pass and tune into yourself and your own journey and ask yourself, well, what can I do that will take me one step closer to my goal today? Because that's what you're in control of. That's what you are in control of. Yeah.
What can I ask you this? How did you get to the point of because you kind of walked through a mental progression where you said recognize the thought and then move on? Because I think that's big. Some people, they don't want to recognize that thought. And I think you got to realize like, yo, I really am having this thought.
Yeah.
Am I jealous?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
just be it's okay. Be honest.
Okay.
Like, I'm jealous right now. I'm jealous. Recognize that. And I think when you do, you can tell yourself, all right, chill out. You
and
recognize it and let it go. Yeah.
It's like, because we have, I think, something like 10,000 thoughts a day. And those are going to, every day is full of grief and gratitude. So some of those thoughts are going to be very happy thoughts. And then some of those thoughts are going to be anxious thoughts. And some of those thoughts are going to be quote unquote bad thoughts. They're just thoughts. And so ignoring them can cause a lot of other problems. So just almost like seeing it like a floating cloud. You recognize the thought, you identify the thought, you own it, and then watch it pass by. And that can be really transformative when it comes to comparing. Like I'm comparing right now, how does that make me feel? All right. Can I do anything about it? What can I do to make myself a little better today to get where I want to go? Because I'm on my own journey and it has its own timeline and it's okay.
And it's okay.
Yeah.
Is that something you always live by, or is that something you just had? Is this recent, or
Relatively. So, a few episodes ago, my husband and I opened up about peeled the curtain back on our 25-year marriage and shared the 10,000-foot view of going through a marital crisis 4 years ago, and the journey we have been on since then in terms of mental health and therapy. And healing and growing. And now we're on the other, emerging from the other side, what they call post-traumatic growth. And it's really eye-opening to learn from how much our childhood can have an impact on the way that we think and how we perceive the world and the experiences that we had, even outside the home in military or work or just life and other circumstances, and how we all come from, well, most of us for sure do all or none thinking, it always is, it'll never be. And really life is more complex than that. And it's all shades of gray. And so both things can be true at the same time. And the all or nothing thoughts can get you in a lot of trouble. Also with comparing too. I'll never get there. Look at this person. Right. And that is where a lot of pain comes from and suffering comes from when you sit in that place of all or nothing.
Yeah, that's funny. You bring that up. I kind of grew up like that as well. It was either all or it was nothing. There was no in between. There was no compromise. There was no settling on anything. It was either this or that.
Yeah, a lot of people
did it make things?
Yeah.
Because does it make it simpler? Yeah. But things are actually way more complex than that, And when you just keep burying and burying and burying, it ended up just blowing up at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool that I went and did that. I wish, not to veer off too far. I wish my dad would talk to somebody. I mean, you can't be one of 18 kids and experience what they experience and not be a little screwed up in the head,
Yeah.
to have something going on up there. And they're all great people. I love my aunts and uncles, but yeah, they all got something going on. They all have these crazy insecurities, but I get it. They want to protect their parents, reputations, and because my parents never badmouthed my grandparents or anything like that. But it's just like, at least talk to somebody and get some help, because it's having an impact on the entire family, our relationship, the one with our mother. All that kind of stuff. It's just like, it doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you a sissy or any of that stuff. And that's what a lot of that generation needs to understand. Or this one too, because my mom is getting to this point where like, she doesn't want any blame for anything that quote unquote we feel like we didn't get when we were kids. She doesn't. It's just like, just tell me all the good stuff I did. It's just like, it's kind of ironic because that's kind of what I wanted as a kid. I kind of wanted to hear some of the good things I did as well, and not that I was screwing up and talking back all the time. But we have to be open to that criticism as parents, and I'm preparing myself now, having a 12-year-old. I might in 5, 10, 15, 20 years have to have a talk with my son. Hey, I didn't like these things that you were doing when I was a kid. I didn't approve of them. It made me feel this way. And I have to own up to that. And I said that to say, like, that's what my mom has to learn. Like, hey, you have to listen to this and go, you know what? I'm sorry about that. But yes, you were a good mom, but there also was some things that we could have improved on. And we're not holding it against you. We love you.
Yeah.
We are who we are.
Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, and all of this makes you who you are on stage, and like realizing this stuff. You know what I mean?
And
it gives you your point of view. It gives you your point of view. It really does. And like, the more that I've been unpacking this kind of stuff, I've been able to unpack more of my childhood and go, oh, that's funny. That's why we did this. So like, unraveling this stuff, it can be painful.
Yes.
Things might come up, but in the long run, it's a good thing. And I think that's why my mom was like so weirded out about us going to therapy at first, because it's like, y'all just going to talk about me and blame me. It's like, it's not about that. It's about identifying what happened, how it changed you, and how to combat that when that trauma response surfaces itself. It gives you those tools to deal with that and go, hey, this is just me reacting to X, Y, and Z when I was a kid, but now it manifests like this, and I know to do this when that happens. It's not about my mom did this or my dad. No, it's just identifying it and fixing it when it pops up. That's it.
Resolving the trauma. And there's a lot of healing and a depth in relationships that happen when you go through that healing process. Yeah. And identifying what happened to you and processing it and integrating it. And that will deepen the relationship between the family members and your own system and our marriage and other people that go through that process. We call it the healing journey. And it's... Oh, wow. Yeah. On the healing journey.
The healing journey of comedy. But
yeah. And comedy was extremely healing to us throughout these last 4 years, and a break too when we talked about that.
Same.
Yeah And fuel for material now. I mean, we razz each other on stage. We perform solo, but we also perform duo, and either way, you'll give each other a hard time, and people identify when you start talking. You don't want to talk before you're healing from something.
Right, because that'll hurt.
That can cause a whole other myriad of problems. But on the other side of it, and when you begin to do this and do the deep work and heal yourself, and you're a comic, you've seen famous comics do that and talk about their dads, and Kevin Hart talks about his dad. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah. But his dad is in the audience laughing. He thinks it's hilarious,
Right.
And people are getting a kick out of it because you're not alone. Whatever it is.
You're not alone.
You're not alone. Everyone's struggling over something. And we're all in this thing together. And I think reason that people laugh is they can identify either themselves or someone else in their lives when they hear the joke, and it makes them laugh and it releases the tension, and it is very healing.
It is.
Yeah.
I think that's what really brought me to comedy. It's just that laughing yeah, you can kind of forget about what's going on in your life, all the bad stuff, and it just feels good to make people feel good,
Mm-hmm.
It feels good to make people feel good. They come in there and they laugh, and it's the best job ever.
It is the best job. Yeah. Did you say when you decided to do it full time or not? So I don't think we got that question answered.
No, so we started talking about our healing journeys.
Those are important.
See, I was about 5 or 6 years in where I was like, man, I think this is what I want to do full time.
Wow.
And then, but I was on active duty military, active status, so I couldn't. But that was my goal, and I think a lot of it was because I couldn't.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't do it. I wanted it so bad. I thought it would be so easy, but the military, you know what I mean?
That's so easy.
And the thing is, I'm learning all of it now.
Yeah.
My easy time was in the military.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I didn't have any ups and downs, but my easy time was in the military. I had way more disposable income. I could fly somewhere and put myself up just to do guest spots in places, and 99% of comics can't do that.
Mm-mm.
I was able to do that for the first 10 years of my career, and that is something I can absolutely not do these days.
Mm-hmm.
When I retired, I lost 70% of my income.
Wow.
70%. I was terrified because I knew when I retired, I wanted to do this full time. And I was like, I don't know. I know I'm going to get a retirement check. I'm not sure if I'm going to get disability. And if I don't, I'm screwed. I have to get a job, and I don't want to get a job because if I get another job in the military as a civilian, I'm going to probably have to take a break from comedy to build up my time to get vacation so I can take weekends. You know what I mean? And that was very scary for me. Very scary for me. And I was like, I don't want to do that. But luckily, things came through. My wife supported me. She's the main breadwinner now. And the fact that my family, when I retired, they all had my back. I mean, my father is very pragmatic. Get a job, be steady. He was same with my mom. They were like, Chris, you did your time. Do your comedy. My sisters, do your comedy. Do your comedy.
Wonderful.
So I had support. So I knew from very early I wanted to do it full time, but I didn't get the opportunity until I retired. And then it took about, and I've been retired almost just over 5 years. It took about 3 years for me to realize how serious this was. How serious this is, because I felt like I was still having fun, but I'm a cuss. I wasn't taking this shit as serious as I should have. Mm-hmm. And then one day it hit me. I was like, bro, this is your effing job. You got to get on it. Like, you just going up, opening for these people, having fun, tweeting everything. I was like, that crap ain't going to cut it, bro. It's not. Mm-hmm. And that was so scary. Mm-hmm. That was so scary. To be honest, I felt like I kind of slipped into a little bit of a delusion where I thought I was better than I was. Mm-hmm. And I had to wake up. And my biggest wake up call is when I got fired for opening for Neil Brennan. Mm. I really just started going into this. I got fired. I was supposed to do like 10 shows. I got 2 shows in, or three shows in, 2 nights in, 3 shows done. One night I forgot my phone off stage. Asked the guy where I was on time. He gave me the time of day and not the minutes. Hey, where are we at? Oh, 8:09. Oh, cool. 8 minutes, 9 seconds. No, I had already been on stage for like 9 minutes. So I'm thinking, I still got 10 more. So I go over by like 8 minutes.
Oh,
that's
boy.
not good.
No, it is not. As a producer,
that's not good.
You got to keep the show on time. Yeah.
Yeah. And he was not happy. And ultimately I got fired. But I had apologized to him and everything like that. But I had got a little too laxed, I got a little too lax. I let my guard down. I always prided myself on my professionalism. But I felt like because I had been working with these people for a while, my name was floating around a little bit in these circles of cool comics. I'm in the circle. I can just be, no, you got to be on your P's and Q's. And I wasn't. And it cost me, a tour. Honestly, in the long run, it was probably for the best anyway. Personality wise, that would not have worked out at all. And I learned a lot of lessons from that. I learned a lot of lessons from that. And I don't have anything against him at all. I don't have any issues with Mr. Brennan at all. He had to do what he had to do. And it's not a bad person.
No.
Not a bad person.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that at all. It's just like they're not in the mode to like really be helping or teaching anybody anything. That's not what they do. And I was looking for some guidance with trying to change how I want to do comedy, and that's not what they're not into that.
Yeah, everybody has like a different focus.
Yeah,
and
okay,
yeah, and we can learn what works for us and based on what we need and want. And same with them. It's just a different journey. That's all. Yeah. And we can learn from our mistakes. I think that's something, and one of the biggest lessons in, these last 4 years is people do make mistakes, and it doesn't have to be the end of the world. Certainly mistakes can hurt, but you can learn from them and become better people and end up in better situations. Not that I'm saying that about that particular story.
I know what you mean.
Just overall. Yeah.
Overall. Yeah. And I learned a lot from that. I learned a lot from that about myself. And I people know that like that. I mean, he's a difficult person to be around. And people were like, hey, he's difficult. And like, I felt like I could have been like, yeah, he's difficult. No, I was like, you know what, Chris, you have to be honest with the part that you had in that. Mm-hmm. I got myself fired, being too lax, being stupid, doing dumb shit. And
going way over time.
I was doing too much. Too much. And that's all on me.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna own all of that.
And you're better for it.
I feel like I'm better for it. And he even said like, yeah, if you need anything, just hit me up. And I was like,
totally.
We cool. He was like, we cool.
Yeah.
And I feel like the only reason why I'm talking as candid as I am is because he would talk as candid about a situation if it was him. Yeah. So I'm starting to match energies. It's like, if this is how he would talk about stuff, I'm gonna talk about it how he would talk about it. So
yeah. I think, Laughers, you're picking up that Chris Allen has no problems being vulnerable. Truthful.
I don't. We've been all over the place. I got fired. I got bombed. I haven't said anything good about myself.
There's lots of good stuff. I went over my
time. Yeah.
Well, people. Still, it's going to be a really cool show. You have performed in so many different venues and environments. How does the audience's energy change depending on the kind of material that you do? Or do you feel the audience energy? Or what does that look like for you?
You know what? Like the energy is different when I'm like when I would say like I'm on a high and I'm like just the crowd work, the just being over the top vulgar, just crazy, just talking reckless to people. That's how you get people whipped up into a frenzy.
Yeah.
And people yelling stuff out. That's fun. Like bar show energy. But like say but I also like this, and this is a new speed that I'm digging. I've been watching a lot of Ali Sadiq. I don't know if you guys watch Ali Sadiq at all.
Mm-mm.
Amazing comedian.
I'll check it out.
He has a special out now. It's got like 5 parts. They're all like over an hour long. He is probably even a better storyteller than Bill Cosby.
Wow, that is saying a lot.
It's a lot. Ali Sadiq he is a generational. I mean, this guy is absolutely amazing. He spent time in prison. Like his whole special is about him growing up. It's about moving in with his dad, him getting into being a drug dealer, losing his sister when he was a kid, and then him going to prison. And then another special is all about him in prison. I mean, all these specials are just like a 2-part special of him, like from ages like 12 to 15. And just telling these stories about his mom, the stuff he was doing. It is absolutely amazing. This guy is basically telling you a movie.
Wow.
It's so good. But I say that to say I've been watching him and I'm like, yo, I don't have to have this fast pace. I can slow things down. Everything I say doesn't have to have a punchline, you know? Just the people I have been working with prior, it was like boom, 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 boom. Their audience, they didn't give their audience a break. It was just like boom, 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 rapid fire jokes. Working with certain comics, and I learned to kind of write towards that person's audience. Kind of keep it light, keep it kind of short. They don't want to get too deep about anything. That's fine. But watching Ali Siddiq and watching how deep he gets, the pace that he takes, because I kind of got sick of that pace. I was getting kind of like, man, I don't want to do this pace anymore. It's like running. It's like I kind of want to slow down and do some other stuff. I want to jog. I don't feel like sprinting anymore. I want to do some interval stuff, Yeah. So like watching him, it made me slow down, and like I found myself like when I do relationship material on the road, I feel like I put more filler in there, but comics would call it filler. What I'm really trying to do, I'm trying to connect with people and get more personable. Look at people and to ask them about their marriage. So, because one thing I really enjoy getting a laugh when somebody grabs their friend, like, oh, this dude crazy. But what I really freaking love is when I'm going into my relationship material and I'm not trying to be funny, I'm being honest, and I'm bringing up like a specific situation between me and my wife, and I'll see some wife or a husband look at their spouse like,
we get that all because we do a lot of that.
Doesn't that sound familiar? Or like the little pokes, and then they'll have a little conversation, and then after the show they go, yo, that was great, we needed that. And I'm like, yo, that's another feeling that I'm tapping into that I think is dope, that I'm getting from the comedy stage. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? To be real with you, what happens is a lot of comics, we talk a lot of crap about, like, say, a Nanette or something that we don't feel is like super like punchy. And we go, oh, that's not real comedy because there's not a punchline every 13 seconds or 8 seconds or whatever. Oh, they up there just talking. It's just like, sometimes that's the case. But with somebody like Ali Siddiq, they are connecting with their crowd. Yeah. People are crying. People have their mouth open. And it's like, I can make people laugh. That's cool. But the connection that Ali Siddiq is getting with his crowd, that is worth way more. These people sit there for 2 hours and they're taking on this emotional roller coaster, and it's funny. It's funny. Yep. I think that is dope. But I also I just watched Big J's crowd work special. I think that's great. Like me watching the intro of that, him coming into that comedy club, the low ceilings, the crowd outside, I got like feelings in my chest. I get teary-eyed. I'm getting amped up because it's like, yo, and watching him walk out, I'm like, that's why I got into comedy. That's why I got into comedy. That feeling, that look, that crowd, that's what I freaking love right there. But I also watch Ali Siddiq and I'm like, yo, I love that too. Yeah. I love all of this stuff. And I want to be able to do all of it. And that's the thing I'm noticing, man. So many comics, I'm going to cuss again. We talk so much shit about other people's art. Yeah. About, oh, she ain't funny. That ain't this. Man, shut up and make your own stuff. Yeah. Shut up. Yeah. It ain't for you. It ain't for you. Oh, Jamie Foxx, he was up there. It wasn't that funny. Man, shut the hell up. Jamie Foxx almost died. I know. That man has given us 20 plus years of great comedy. Wanda. You know what I mean? Movies. This man turned into Ray. Yeah. It's an incredible performance. So if Jamie Foxx wants to get up there and cry for 40 minutes, Jamie Foxx has earned that freaking right to do that. He's earned that. I say amen to that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, was it the funniest thing? No. Yeah, exactly. It's not. Everybody's album isn't their artist. Their album isn't their best album that they make. You know what I mean? Every musical artist, every album they make, it's not their best work. It's not their best work. It's not a classic. We get that. We miss. Yeah. But I think he earned that freaking right. to go up there and tell America what happened to him.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. And I would just challenge some thinking out there. It's easy for us all to judge. I can't sit here and
It is.
I haven't been judgmental a day in my life that I would be telling a lie. But
exactly. And the thing is, Dawn,
yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
I would just want to just add to that it's good to challenge ourselves when we get in that space. Be mindful that, well, have I ever created a music album? Have I ever stepped on stage to tell a joke, even at an open mic? Maybe.
Right.
Maybe having some empathy and compassion and some support. Like, well, they're doing more about that than I am. So maybe rather than judging them for the level of whatever that performance was to them, and they also want to be a musician or a comic or do something they haven't tried before that person they're judging is doing, maybe try that first and then reassess, so that you have a deeper appreciation for what that artist is doing. It takes a lot of boldness to
they stepped out there
and put their self out there and put their art out there. And maybe it wasn't the next Michelangelo's creation, but
exactly,
it was a creation nonetheless, right?
Exactly. And I have this book, you were talking about creativity and having a abundance mindset.
Yeah.
You should maybe check this out. Do you know who Rick Rubin is? Ever heard of Rick Rubin?
No. We were talking about abundance mindset before we started recording, when we had our previous podcast before we pressed record.
Big time music producer back in the day with I'm drawing a blank on his record label. But he used to work with Run DMC back in the day. Rick Rubin, he's been in the music business for almost 50 years. Mm-hmm. And he just talks about just the creative process, because he said he's worked with so many artists. Like he was just saying, like it's okay to let certain things go for a while and work on another project. Mm-hmm. It's okay. This is, the biggest thing I learned from this book right here. He was saying so many artists, we hold on to things. Mm-hmm. Like you'll hear comics like, oh, I don't want to put that joke out because I don't want to waste it. He was just like, I've seen so many artists sit on songs and stuff. Oh, I don't want it to go to waste. He goes, put it out, because when you sit on it, you're stopping the flow of creativity.
Oh, that is good. That's deep.
He's like, put it out. Mm-hmm. We don't put it out because we think, well, I'm not going to be able to come up with something that's that funny again. He goes, put it out. You got to put it out. If you don't, you're plugging yourself up. Mm. So and that's the scarcity mindset. I don't want to tell this joke until it's perfect. I don't want to put it on TikTok, because even if it doesn't do well on TikTok, you still can tell that joke.
Yeah.
But we hold on to these things like, oh, this is my baby. I got to wait for the perfect time. There is no perfect time to tell that joke. Mm-hmm. So put it out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Of course, use judgment. Like if you got a thing that you're doing, you want to wait, but like, don't be afraid to put stuff out there. You got to put stuff out there if you want it to get seen. You got to put it out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't get,
Yeah. And I think too, people will hesitate, or I've even had these thoughts like, well, if I put it out there, maybe somebody won't like it or they'll judge me for it. Those are real human thoughts. And,
you know what? And
and the way one of the things my therapist taught me is, because you go through trauma, you can struggle with perfectionism. It's tied to the scarcity mindset. It's a whole thing. So actually you can grow through the process by putting it out when it is, you think it's imperfect or not perfect. You can grow in your creativity to affirm this advice this author has given you, just shared, by putting it out when it is not perfect.
Dang. So is there this thing of like, is it like kind of like shock therapy in a sense of like, you put this out here, you also you hear criticisms of it, and then you realize like, oh, it's not the end of the world. If someone says something about this, it's like, oh, it wasn't that bad.
You're not going to be everybody's cup of tea, even if you're a charming, wonderful person. Do you
know who Kev on Stage is?
No,
I'm sorry.
I've heard Kev on Stage. Why do I?
He's a clean comic.
Probably
Christian
why.
comic, black dude, if you've seen him. And so This happens from time to time. Somebody recently tweeted like, "Do y'all find that Kev on stage dude funny?" And he posted this thing. He goes, "Look, he's like, I'm gonna address this for the last time." And he goes through all of his social media stats. He goes, "I got a 400,000 on here. I got 1 million on this. I got 4 million on this. I've done, X amount of billion views. I've got this, and this." He goes, "Everybody is not going to like me."
No.
After I say all that to say I have all this stuff, everyone's not going to like me.
Yeah.
He goes, "That's just the way it is." And he was like, everyone doesn't like Taylor Swift. Everyone doesn't like Beyonce. He goes, "It's fine. There's
It really
something out there
is.
for everybody." He goes, "I'm not everybody's cup of tea. Y'all can say Kev corny, Kev this. That's fine. I'm not for you. I am here for the 1 million people on this, the 400,000 on that." And it's just like, he's right. Who cares what they think? And I got caught up in that too.
Yeah.
I got caught up in that too. Because there were times I'm like, "Oh, I'm not being this enough." And I had to go, you know what, Chris? Who cares what they think? Because deep down inside, it's like, you don't even respect what they do. So why do you want the respect of some people that you don't even think are great?
Yeah. Yeah. Or not
and
for you.
Or not for me. And that's what I tell myself. I'll go, that person ain't funny. And I'll go, Negro, they have 2.5 million subscribers. What do you have? They're doing something. So while you over here saying they ain't funny, they're living it up.
Yeah. They're finding their tribe. And that's it.
Exactly.
And letting go what other people think, it sounds easier said than done. But there's so much opens up to you when you start letting that go. Work on you and work on what you can control. Put out there what you're proud of, and what you're about, and let all that other stuff go. Because you can't control at all what other people think. You can't do it at all. But you can control you and your journey and what you do. Yeah, and your tribe will find you. Yeah.
Yep. And to come back full circle with the thoughts, when we see other people's art that we don't like, I used to run through that checklist of like, "Oh, I've never made a TV show. Well, I don't have that many followers. I don't have that many subscribers. I've never done X, Y, and Z. Who am I to even criticize or judge this person's art?" And Justin Bua is an artist that I like, and I watched his Instagram, and he criticizes some stuff, and he goes, "Look," because someone was like, "As an artist, how can you criticize this?" He goes, "Look," he goes, "That's why we put our art out there." For people to criticize it. He was like, "I'm not trying to be mean or vindictive or anything like that." He goes, "I'm just giving my opinion and moving on." And I had to come to terms with, like, I would deny those thoughts when I was like, "This shit is this crap, this is whack. This is whack." I would go, "You can't say that." But I started to recognize, like, "Hey, why are you saying this? Why don't you like this?" And then I started exploring. It's like, "Bro, you low key kind of jealous right now. You got to get over it. You got to get over it." And me recognizing those thoughts helped me get over it. That stuff. You got to recognize it. You can't just say nope, because you're gonna just keep doing it and find yourself getting bitter and mad because you're not getting to to the root of why you're feeling the way that you are.
That is so key right there, and allowing yourself to feel like it is okay to have bad feelings, like recognize them and honor them, because they're going to help you reset yourself and regulate your emotions and move to a healthier place for you.
Right. But what sucks is the internet is so negative, and like even just in person.
Yeah.
So you can find those people who are saying those same things either online or in person, and get with those groups and just hate on those people.
Yeah.
And that's the crab in the bucket thing.
That's
the crabs in the barrel.
And not even all of them are real. Like, I'm learning that there are bots out there designed to create frenzy and make you mad, and it's fake accounts and not even real people.
It's not even real.
Just take the whole what's happening. It's a crazy time in history, but let's be honest, there have been many crazy times in history. Yeah. So humans have dealt with this, and you just take everything in context and take care of yourself. Do a lot of self-care so you don't work yourself up into a frenzy unnecessarily over things that may not even be real. with the way
Right,
our
over
words
things.
right
I
now,
know.
So
Yeah.
it's just calm down. Come out to a comedy show and laugh with
Come out
us.
to a comedy show. Come out to a comedy show. And like we talk
Yeah.
about this, but this is why like sometimes like these like younger comics are like, yeah, this younger comics don't understand, like, yo, I get you want to be able to yell and scream about what you want to talk about, but like sometimes people are getting away from
Down a
these
break.
topics. And it's just like,
Yeah.
and it's like it's not even funny right now. You're just ranting about it.
No.
You know? You're just bringing up points. So that's why a producer might get mad, or another comic or whoever might get mad at you for bringing up the stuff. It's like you're just yelling about X, Y, or Z. Where's the punchline? Where's the punchline?
Bring us
You just
in.
ramble for
Bring us
You
in
just
so I can connect with you and laugh.
Yeah, come on. Where's the laugh? I get it. Sometimes we veer off and we go off on a tangent. My bad. I got to get back. But this person was just going and going. I'm like, this is not a political protest right now.
No, it's a comedy show. I think
it's a comedy show.
If you're gonna be political, Chris and I, my husband, the other funny Womack, talk about this. If you're gonna get into political comedy, there are certain genres out there where that it's designed to get you in a frenzy. And even some comedy can be that way. But we think it's even more genius and more brilliant if you're going to move in the direction of political comedy. If both sides of the aisle can laugh, that's a rich joke. Because now
that's a great joke.
You've included everyone. Now, whether they're, whatever side
left,
of the
right,
spectrum.
center,
left, right, center. Everybody feels like they're a part of it. Then I think those are the most brilliant political jokes out there. When it feels inclusive and we're family versus let's fight and divide. And
right. Exactly.
I think that's way more brilliant. Yeah. Yeah. Personally.
That's why I love Bill Burr.
Yeah.
Bill Burr will say things in like some left wing or right wing YouTube page will go, Bill Burr just destroyed, topic X. And then you'll see Bill Burr, the opposite side will take another thing. It's just like Bill Burr, he's so good at making everybody mad and making great points where like Chris Rock said, like, when you do your political jokes, people shouldn't be able to tell which side you're on. He goes, that's the great joke. I
agree with Chris Rock. I'm in that camp.
People shouldn't know in the joke which side you're on at all because you're making,
And you can and I think it's super brilliant. And to that point is if maybe it's a joke about Trump and the right is laughing about it, they're in the audience. You've done a good job because you just had somebody who voted for him laughing too, or vice versa. They voted for Kamala. They make a joke about that. You find yourself laughing. You're on the left and you think it's brilliant. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's right. And that's the thing. You have to be able to laugh at yourself.
Yes.
You have
it's
to be
more
able to
about
laugh
laughing at myself. So they're pointing out kind of because we're all ridiculous because we're all human. Right. So you're pointing out why it's funny that we're of being human. Yeah.
Right. And I like to put myself in those positions, where I'm like, yo, I know I don't look like, but I kind of agree with this. And that's fun. Like, I can tell you about this joke I've been working on lately about, I feel like it's a great political comparison. And I put myself in that, I'm not pointing fingers at anybody for choosing the side that they're on. I'm like, yo, I get it. I understand why you picked X, Y, and Z because it's like this. And this can be delicious. You know what I mean? People are kind of quiet because I'm like, you're quiet because you freaking agree. And you're like, that's a good comparison. And no one wants to admit, like, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's some funny things. I mean,
there's a lot of funny stuff.
There's a lot of material out there.
There's a lot of funny things. And one thing I really hated about when it got too political, it's like you weren't allowed, and I'll say for both sides, you weren't allowed to toy with the other side.
I know.
And put yourself, because it would make it seem like, oh, you accept this. This is like, I don't accept anything. I'm just like, hey, this is funny. Why can't this just be funny? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And no, there's too much at risk. It's like, come on, man. This is comedy now.
Also, life is a bit, again, back to the all or nothing. You can be on the other side of the aisle, voted for you wanted to vote for, and not like everything about that person. And that can be true on the exact same opposite side of the aisle. You voted for voted for, but you don't exactly like everything about that person. But if we're honest with ourselves, I was just talking to my husband about this morning. When you think about it, it's more loving and you do it already in your own life to accept that you're just not going to love everything about that person. You have children, for example. Children are going to do things that drive you absolutely up the wall and make you angry and get you frustrated. But that is not going to stop you from loving that child. And the same thing with your spouse. Your spouse doesn't do everything that you love. There are some things that you cannot stand, but you love that spouse.
That's still my wife. Yeah.
Yeah. And same with your friend and your family. So how come we cannot extend that out? I don't. And when you fall into, honestly, it's if I'm going to be honest, it's hateful not to appreciate or understand that you're just not going to like everything about anyone. It's more loving to understand that they're gonna be different, and it's gonna be okay, and you get to choose whether or not you want to spend how much time you want to spend with that person you don't like or that group you don't like. You don't have to. You can just remove yourself if it's not a loved one, family member, spouse, or your child. If it's more distant,
It boils down to respect, and I think that's what we're really losing. Like, we don't have any respect for anybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Maybe that's better. Maybe it's more about respect than hate. I like that better.
Yeah. It's a lack of it, but it's turning into that kind of thing where I hate this person because it's like, but you don't know their situation.
No,
you don't know. Like, families are complicated. I just thought about this, not to get too crazy, but even if everybody was heterosexual, right? Say our relationships would still be complicated.
Yeah,
still.
Absolutely.
Still, if there was, you know what I mean? Or if everybody was gay, it's still complicated because it's like, guess what? You'll find out not everybody who is your brother is really your brother or really your cousin or really your auntie or really your freaking dad or really your mom. You know what I mean? Oh, this is my sister. It's like, actually, this is your cousin, but they came to live with you when they were 2 because their mom died in a car accident.
Yep.
Or, this is your step. But it's like, our relationships are complicated.
Already. Yep.
They're complicated. People are complicated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. People are messy. Yeah.
We're messy. We're messy. We're messy.
Yeah.
We weave a tangled web.
Yeah.
So people, if everybody was straight, everybody was this, it's still going to be messy.
Yeah.
Because guess what? There might be a household where like, oh, y'all all one family, but that one kid that look a little different, guess what? He stepped out on his wife and she kind of took that baby in.
Yeah.
So that's messy. That's complicated. So like, I don't like to hear all that. Oh, life is freaking complicated. Like you said, there's so much in between. And like, I'll say this. I wish like both sides are silly because it's like one side they won't allow you to be on a political spectrum. Right? It's just either you agree with me or you don't. And one side is just like, there is no sexual spectrum. There is no this spectrum. It's like there's gray areas everywhere. There's gray areas. There's gray areas everywhere. We like you said, you try to make everything black and white, we get in trouble. Nature, not everything is black and white, even in nature. It's so complicated. It's so complicated. And I think if people realize everybody's life is complicated, everybody has a cross to bear. No one's cross is bigger than the other because it's our cross.
That's right.
You know what I mean? It's our cross. And we do come together when we see another human being. Hey, they have cancer. They have this. That's when we all go, you know what? I don't care what my cross is. This person has cancer. Hey, this person's a hero. We're going to lift them up. You know what I mean? That's really what it's about. We need to stop comparing crosses.
Yeah.
Help those people who are in need and show each other respect. And I think we will be a lot better. We will be a lot better.
We're way better together. We're way better together.
I don't argue about people about certain things. Gender, I don't care. I know how many genders there are. You don't need to talk to me about that. But I also realize as an adult male, we live in a complicated society. There are people who, during the day, they might be a straight edge judge. And then at night, They put on freaking high heels and go to a drag show.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? What's crazy is my grandmother used to tell me about this stuff back in Florida back in the day. How there was a guy she knew, he was a hairdresser, and then at night he would dress up like a woman. This is in Florida in the 1960s.
Yeah.
This black guy is doing this stuff. Now, do you have to accept it? You don't, but just respect what people do, and vice versa. If someone's not into that, don't put it in people's faces, and just respect each other and just move on. Mm-hmm. It's really that simple. It's really that simple.
And if it doesn't work for you to have a relationship with someone who thinks very differently than you can choose not to be in that relationship.
Exactly. But just show each other respect. But this is why I love comedy, because it leads to so many different conversations. That's why I love talking to comics. So people think, oh, we all so silly. But honestly, these are the conversations that most comics have after the show. And people go, why are y'all having these conversations? You know why we have these conversations? Because this is the kind of information that makes your jokes more well-rounded. So you don't go up there and say something freaking ignorant and stupid. But if you do, it's comedy. You can go, oh, they didn't like that. Let me erase that. But when you talk to people, from different walks of life, especially people, you get more perspective and you go, oh, that's why they didn't laugh at that joke, because all that stuff I said wasn't true, or it was just a little inaccurate. Oh, now I can give a better example. Now the joke is killing. Yeah. Why is that joke so funny? It's like, I asked my gay friends about that joke. You know, like when I was working on my trans joke, I talk, hey, how can I say this without it being disrespectful? I had a joke I was working on, and a friend of ours, Randolph Washington Jr., was like, yo, don't say that. That sounds a little weird. Say it like this. Oh, okay. Instead of me going, yo, I can say what I want to say. Forget you. I'm going to do, this is comedy. I took in the information from somebody in that community who made what I wanted to say palatable, and go, boom. And now people are like, yo, I like that joke. Yeah. And Dawn, every once in a while, somebody will go, hey, I don't like that joke. I got a trans kid, but I do have people that go, hey, my kid is trans. I think that joke is hilarious. And I'm doing that joke for those people. I'm sorry you don't like my joke. I'm sorry you don't like it. I'm not trying to be mean. You don't like it. But I've told people, you'll get over it, though. You'll be okay. You'll be fine. Yeah. I'm sorry you didn't like it, but you'll get over it. Yeah. I wasn't trying to hurt your feelings. It's okay.
No.
Thank you for your feedback.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. You've worked with some really comedy heavyweights. Was one of the best pieces of advice you received from one of them? Like Mark Norman, maybe. Oh,
Mark, honestly, write jokes. The money is in the jokes. That's what I learned from Norman. The money is in the jokes, because I saw myself easily going down the path I didn't want. I'd never want to become the local could have been guy who's now the last minute headliner, and all I do is crowd work. I've seen that guy in so many different cities where it's just like, oh, he got to work with this person back in the day. They kind of gave up, and now I'm just doing one-nighters on Thursdays and Saturdays. And then when my friends who were famous, when they come back down from the theaters and they're back in the club, now I'm getting to open for them again 10 years later, and we're fatter and balder. Like I don't want that to be me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I saw that for me. That could have easily been me, because I love crowd work. But working with Mark, Norman was like, dude, you got to work on the jokes. So with Norman, it was like work on the jokes. Jokes. That's what the money is. Money is in the jokes. And trust your act. You wrote the jokes. Trust them.
Oh,
that's what I learned from Norman.
Yeah, and he helped you produce, or he did produce your guy.
He produced my special.
Right. Yeah. What was that experience like? Did you?
It was fun. It was a little different. He wasn't as super involved, but like working with the producer, it was cool because he was also from my hometown. It was very serendipitous. You know, I posted that Norman was producing it, and then Matt reached out and was like, "Hey man, I actually work for Norman. We might be drunk. I'm from Rochester. I would love to be involved." And I was like, "All right, man, cool. You can do it." So we had a couple meetings, and we shot it in July, I think. I can't remember when I freaking shot it, but I shot it this past summer. Was it July? Yeah, it was in July.
This last year, I do remember that. Yeah.
Shot it in July 13th, I think, 12th and 13th, I think. Whenever Trump got shot the first time, that's when it happened. Because the second night, right before I went on, they were like, Trump got shot. I was like, are you kidding me? The night of my
crazy.
special, that was crazy.
That was crazy.
Yeah. And I had to decide, like, do I keep it in? Do I take it out? But I talked about it, but I cut it out.
Okay.
I cut it out, but I did talk about it because, like, everybody was like, it was shocking. No matter how you feel about the situation, that's not a good thing to hear.
No.
It's not a good thing to hear. It was very scary.
Yes.
But I had a lot of fun, man. It was the second night I felt was a lot better. I was way more relaxed. I ended up using most of that.
Okay.
And then the editing process, I watched both of them a few times, and like, yeah, we just went through a round of edits, and we kind of just boiled it down. Then I came up with the music and then the title, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I had a lot of hand in it, like the cover artwork. I did that myself. You know?
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that was fun. Yeah, I had my friend Good News come out. He took photos for me, and I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna find a photo. And I was just screwing around on Adobe, and boom, it hit me. I was like, that's it. And then the name kind of came to me. But it's been fun. It's been fun. I'm at almost 30,000 views.
Oh, great.
I'm having a friend who actually works in Hollywood re-edit a trailer for me. And I'm working on getting it clipped out. That costs money and time, so I'm almost done with that. And I'm really just gonna do a re-push on the special here in the next couple of weeks, and post it every day because I really feel like it's really good. I really feel like I dive into who I am, and I really feel like it was one of the best specials that came out this year. I feel like it's great. I really feel like I represented myself well on it, and I just want more people to see it. And I feel like once the right eyes get on it, it's gonna take off. And my thing is, I just want to be ready for that next step.
That's really great. Yeah. Laughers, if you like blue comedy, then you'll definitely get that on Gotta Be Honest.
Yeah.
So you get to see that side of him, which will be really great. And then see another side of him.
Side.
Yeah, the blue side. Yeah. And then see the cleanest side.
The cleanest side.
Yeah.
And I feel like what I want to talk about now, I feel like I don't need to be as brash.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to coming there. I've been working on the set. I already know the stuff that I want to do. So I'm pretty excited. It's a lot of nostalgic family stuff.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah.
What if I should do a clean out? What if I did a clean special?
That would be amazing. And then they could do like a side by side. That would be a cool comparison.
It would make me so mad if that blew up. That's one of my biggest fears of doing something clean.
Yeah.
And then the universe is like, that's it, man. Because there's honestly, Dawn, there's a rebel in me that's gonna be like, I ain't doing it. I don't care if it's Bargatze money. I ain't doing it.
What if it was $80 million like what he made last year? Would that change your mind?
If it was 80 million, if it was $150,000 and I was happy, I would do it.
Yeah.
If it was 80 million and if I honestly did not feel fulfilled on stage, I'm not lying. I would not do it. And I say that because I spent 20 years in the military not feeling fulfilled, and I can't do that anymore. I can't do it. I spent my youth feeling unfulfilled. And I can't blame anybody but myself. But it worked out for me in the long run. But the military was not the right environment for me. It got me to where I am. I'm thankful to young Chris for putting myself in the position to be where I am now. It might have been the best thing for me, but it wasn't for me. If that makes sense, you know what I'm saying?
I totally get it.
It worked. It worked. It got me to where I want to be, but it cost me. It cost me. But I'm thankful for where I am. But it wasn't the best thing for me mentally. I'm way more of a creative person than I gave myself credit for, and I'm realizing that now. I never saw myself as an artist, but the more I go back, I was like, dang, I was a writer, man. But I don't know what it was. It just got pushed away from me. I remember being in high school and my teacher like, yo, your son can write. And I never let that blossom at all. I never saw a future in it. I never knew what I could do with it. I was just telling people stuff I wanted to do in college just so they would leave me alone. I'll be an accountant. I want to be a lawyer just so people would leave me alone. And I think part of the reason why I went in the military is because like people don't question you in the military. It's just like I'm automatically a hero. I'm automatically a good guy.
I see.
And people don't question me. So I put that uniform on. Oh, good job. I'm like, thank you. People are leaving me alone. That's what I want to be left alone. But yeah, I want to be left alone, and I wasn't challenging myself, and it just wasn't the best environment for me. So when I did find comedy, I dove in head first, because like the first time I went to a mic, after kind of like building a rapport with people, after like the whole debacle in the beginning, and that thing of like not being the funny person in the group, like where you say something to somebody and you're used to being the one that's the sniper that you get. You're the funny guy. But going into a group where you say something funny and then another person says something back funnier just as fast. I remember the first time that I was like, whoa, this is my people.
I know. It's a great.
I was like, this is it. No one's looking at me weird because I said this thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I found that.
Yeah.
I found that. And I dove in head first. I was obsessed. My wife will tell you there were nights I didn't even come home when I first started doing comedy. Dawn, there were nights I would get off from work at 4:00. I would get home, change, go to a mic, and I would get home at 5:30 in the morning.
Wow.
Not even shower. Put my uniform back on and go to work, and all day be like, I ain't doing that again. I'm staying home. I get home, do it again. I'm on two
Can't not
days.
do it. That's the problem with like you really love it. You just cannot not do it, even when
I cannot not
hard.
do it.
Yeah.
And then in Vegas, nothing closed, so I was up all night. So, but yeah. All right. Sorry.
Yeah. No, you stopped drinking though, didn't you? Or no?
Yeah, I stopped drinking about 6. Yeah, but I smoke a lot of marijuana, so which I gotta. It kind of negates it a lot.
Yeah, but that changed things for you, and I imagine that was a life decision that you made for a reason. So how do you feel that decision has made a positive impact for you?
Stop drinking. Stopping drinking. It wasn't helping me. You know what? Because I tell people like they were like, "Oh, you had a problem." I didn't have a problem. I did do a lot of drinking, but it just wasn't helping my mental state. It was bringing me down. Yeah, and it just wasn't good. Because people were like, "I never seen you drink," you know. Because I just really didn't drink that much. I didn't drink that much out in public because being in the military, I never wanted DUI, so I was very careful. But what people didn't see is like, on my way home, I'm trying to stop by the store before midnight so I can grab a couple tall boys. And I come home and I pour myself, 4 fingers of whiskey. I have 2 of those and 2 tall boys. And even when I tell my friends, I would say that's probably about 3 or 4 shots and then 4 to 6 beers. And they would go, that's nothing. But for me, I felt that was a problem. You know, but I never went to work drunk, none of that kind of stuff. I was just doing a lot of drinking and it just was not helping my mental state. So I had to stop. But weed has helped me. But I also realized like I got to stop this at some point too, because smoking is unfreaking healthy.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's helped me. I'll say this real quick. I feel like weed has helped me stay in the pocket and criticize myself. You know, like we talked about those thoughts.
Yeah.
Like I would run away from thoughts that were negative about myself. Like, you don't want to talk about this. Don't talk about this. And there were nights I would sit on the couch high, like, yo, you really are kind of a piece of crap because you did this, that, and the third. And if sober Chris heard that, I would be out of there. I don't want to go through that. And high Chris is like, nah, bro, hear her out. This is fine. You need to hear this. And I'm like, yeah, man, tell me more about myself. And I could really sit in the pocket and listen to criticism. Same thing with my wife. I know some people will say, oh, this is a crutch, but I'm telling you, it brought my anxiety down to the point where I could sit there, focus, and listen to my wife actually criticize me and not get defensive and not hurt my feelings. I was able to sit there and listen. And I would say that's what weed has done for me. It's allowed me to sit in the pocket and accept criticism and actually analyze it critically and not personally. So, yeah. And it's made me more patient just at my house as well. But it's also made me a huge snack monster. That's the negative. But the positive side is it's made me slow down my thinking and open myself up to self-criticism and hearing criticism from people closest to me, something that I could never do. I just never wanted to hear anything negative about myself. It hurt so bad. But the marijuana definitely helped numb that and get to a point where I'm like, that's true. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. That sounds like a trauma response to me too. Some messaging from early on.
Yeah.
It's like, then it like equating it early on to you're not seen, heard, or loved, but that's not what was happening. It's just a trauma response because it's how it was interpreted from whatever was happening. Yeah.
Yeah. My sister said something the other day that I like to my core. I fought and I didn't want to believe it. But the fact that my sister said it, I was just like, this is true. But man, this is kind of like hurtful. My sister was like, because my parents took care of us. We went to private schools. We had clean clothes, all that, Dawn, haircuts, and we had everything we needed. But my sister was like, there was no emotional support in the house. And I was like, that's not true. And then the more I thought about it, I was like, damn, that's so true. And it's not like we couldn't tell our parents anything or anything like that. But when you really, there was none. It was just like, yo, stop crying. I don't want to hear that. You know, there was no support at all. And it's not saying my parents are like, they're not bad people.
No.
It's just, that's how they grew up. They didn't want to hear it. That's how they grew up.
That's a very good point. So,
you know what I'm saying?
It's you know, they come from an environment where that's how they were, that was modeled to them. So then they didn't know any better and they did the best that they could. And they did a great job. Right, exactly. Now we're parents and certainly we're not going to get 100% grade. There's going to be some things that, because we came from what was modeled to us and we can change some things, but then we're going to have that hindsight 2020, like, oh, shoot, you know, in those later adult conversations when our children become adults to heal and grow from whatever wasn't perfect. And I think the thing is just being compassionate and empathetic to one another and recognizing that each of us aren't perfect. So let's talk about that, the impact of that, and heal from that and grow from that and get to a deeper place because of it in our relationship.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know, I hurt you, you hurt me. We're people. Life is messy. Relationships are messy. But we can grow from those. We can heal and grow from those hurts. There is hope.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's what and to go back to comedy, that's what I want to do as a comic. I want my childhood, all this hurtful stuff. I want to learn how to make it funny.
Yeah, you know? It is.
All the stuff,
it can be.
all the stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would like all the stuff I went through in the military. There's some, I have a lot of anger about some of the stuff that I went through in the military. And I did find myself recently like, man, I'm kind of struggling talking about stuff. And it's just like, bro, you're trying to hide 20 years of your life that you don't want to talk about. And you can't do that. I can't skip around that. So I'm trying to find the right medium to do that. So I decided like I don't know when, but I need to start doing these YouTube videos and I'm going to start talking about my experience in the military. It's sometimes it's going to be something racial. Sometimes it'll be a fun story about me and my friends or, you know, some ideology or just like, hey, I remember this one time or, hey, this is a story from basic or tech school. But I need to start sharing it. I can't keep it bottled up. I can't.
Yeah.
Because I realize it's making me angry and I can't. And I want to find a positive way to put it out there. So.
There is positive ways to put it out there. I put I put some of my family dysfunction out there and my jokes, you know, and I run it by my family members sometimes. If I'm not sure if they're going to find it funny, I'll run it by them first. And then they crack up and then they go, yeah, that's fine.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I remember. I don't even remember what the joke was, but the punchline was like, "How you gonna say this to me? You got 4 kids with 3 baby daddies." And now it was just like a regular, like kind of throwaway.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say who, but somebody in my family was like, yo, you talking about my sister? I was like, no. No. If you're going to say that, you need to talk to me. I'm like, this had nothing to do. I'm sorry that's that person's situation, but I was not bringing them into that joke. So like I had to even be careful about mentioning certain situations because there was somebody that had a similar situation where there was a bunch of baby daddies going on and shit like that. And I was like, let me just stay away from that, right? Because that might sound like I'm talking about people in my family, and I'm not. So I had to learn quickly, like, I got to double check. I got to make sure I'm not, saying anything that could be misconstrued by someone in my family the wrong way, because it has happened. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I check. So I have a joke.
Yeah.
For example, my sister got married and we couldn't, this was her fourth husband. And we couldn't be more happy for her because one more and she'll have a basketball team.
Yeah. Starting 5. But you had to run it by her.
I did run it by her.
Yeah.
and
they're all black. So yeah.
Her and her fourth husband thought it was hilarious. So,
that's fine.
Yeah.
And right. Exactly. So like you can't get in, like no one wants their wife disrespected, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't want to disrespect your sister. But you also can't get into a marriage with somebody who's been married 4 times and not be able to take that as a joke from somebody that loves y'all.
Yeah.
Within the right context.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, you can't marry somebody who's been married 4 times and not expect to hear it. Because I know if I worked with a dude that was married 4 times, he's gonna hear about it every day. Every day.
Yeah,
every day.
It's really great. And it's just
but hopefully it works out for her though.
Hopefully. You're in the Charlottesville scene, and we're already starting to talk about just creating some more synergy between the two scenes. What are you most excited about as we start doing that?
I'm excited about having this almost like a path of progression here in the area where we have the mics, we have, Comedy Lab, we have Don't Tell, and now we're going to have a legit brick and mortar club. So I feel like it's going to give something a lot of the young comics to shoot for, having a space to try, to be forced to do cleaner material, because it's like I can tell myself all day. But, now with this club, it's like, hey, you got to perform within these parameters. It's going to give me the testicular fortitude to go out and start trying it.
Yeah.
I'm excited for you guys. I'm excited for what it can really bring to the region, because if this can end up being a midway stop, I mean, it's only good for the entire area, because now you're going to have more comics coming to Richmond. Now more comics are going to want to come to Charlottesville, so it's just going to open up doors for our guys to open for people, whether it's the Southern, whether it's Massanutten Club, who knows? Maybe this could spark a Charlottesville opening the club. We don't know. We could start a whole boom, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm excited for the opportunities for everybody. I'm excited to see how this is going to bring comedy to the area, because I really feel like there's a lot of good artists here in Charlottesville. I feel like this area is cool. I feel like it could be a cooler version of Austin. There's music here. There's good food here. I mean, I'm here with the comedy. Just be real. I'm here. You're here. I feel like we really got some good things going. I really do. It's time to put this area on the map. We have to. We got to.
Yeah. I think it's a lot of opportunity, a lot of blessings. Comics coming down from New York City to DC on their way to either Virginia Beach or Atlanta, or flying out to LA comics flying into DC. We're just 2 hours south of DC. I
think that's great.
It's really, we're in an incredible spot. It's an incredible opportunity. And I'm glad to be working. I like working with dirty comics and asking them to do a clean set. And then they come on our show and we have fun with it. It is a lot of wink, wink.
You know what? I'm making you, you know what? Why can't we do the other way around? We're going to make you do a dirty show.
Don't get too ahead of yourself.
You got to say it. you got to come in and curse. That is fun. Do it clean. Do it clean. Yeah. That could be a show in itself. Dirty comics trying to do clean.
Yeah. Yeah. It is really funny. I think you
That's
could make,
funny.
like, put like a, they used to have the bong show or whatever. They bring the hook
boing,
out.
gong. Yeah, that's fun. You make it fun. You make it fun.
Can bring the audience in. It's always been a way. It's funny, and they dance around it, and I've had Winston say, "Oh, better be careful because Dawn's not going to pay me if I get too out of control."
Yeah, that's fun.
Here.
I'm really looking forward to it. I can't wait to see the room. I'm excited. Me and Gunnar are already talking about it. Like I said, I'm already working on the set. I know what I want to do.
Yeah.
So, I'm excited to all right, I have to do it here. So I'm really excited.
I am excited too. I've seen you perform several times. You have shows. I've gone to them, and I've seen you been up there for an hour. And I was like, honestly, 2 tweaks, and he could be on our show tomorrow. And so when this, I mean, seriously, I was like, he's not far. And I've been after Chris for about 2 years. To say,
is it really that frustrating that I'm just like, no?
Yeah, he was like, I don't know, 2 years, and finally I was like, look, this is an opportunity. I want the comics in our area to be on the first shows because they've stepped up in leadership, and you're definitely the strongest leader in our region in terms of everything that you're doing. That. Yes, you're welcome with the scene there.
I appreciate that,
and I
because you
that. Yeah,
thank you. You basically were like if you like sports, if you see a guy with potential, you're like a coach that's like, hey man, get in the freaking weight room. Like, I know you can get in the weight room. And that's basically what you and Chris have done to me. Yeah, kind of like push me up against the wall, like, get in the freaking weight room, man. You can do it.
Yeah.
Stop running from it. And that's that tough love, and I needed it. I ran from it. And it's just like, all right, you're right. I'll do it. I'm doing myself a disservice, and I feel like I'm not being a total good leader if I'm not showing these guys like I can do it too.
Oh yeah, you can.
I have to show them like I have to.
Yeah.
So
I'm glad to be there. Chris and I are glad to be there to see it because it's going to go down and it's going to be amazing. I actually, Laughers, it's hilarious. So
I get rich doing clean comedy. I'm gonna hate you.
I'm going to go see. Anyway.
Oh my God.
See?
I'll be so mad. I would be so mad.
No, you won't.
You got me.
No.
I wouldn't, but I'm like, you got me.
I called him Laughers last week, and it was so crazy. I called him, and he answered the phone. He said, whatever it is, whatever you got, whatever it is, I'll do it.
Yeah. I literally told myself that. I was like, the moment she asked this year, you can't tell her no. You can't tell her no.
Yeah. And I was like, he's ready. I've seen him. I've seen the show. Seriously, 2 steps away. We got this. He's got it.
Damn it, white women. Y'all do this. This is a white woman thing. But we need you. Y'all are kryptonite. You can't do this to us. Eventually, we break down.
And I'm so excited for everyone that comes to this show and the tourists that are going to be staying there. It's going to be a total treat. The lineup is incredible. We have a few local comics on there. Myself and my husband, we're doing solo sets that night. And then our local comic, Casey Damati, she's going to be hosting that show. And she's a rising star around here. It's just good. This is going to be a great opportunity for her. And then Gunner's coming down from your area with you.
Yeah, we can ride together.
It's going to be amazing. It's
not that far
styles.
From me,
yeah, not far.
I'm
and
right
variety.
There.
Yeah, it's a variety of styles. Everyone's hilarious. All the shows that we do are really a lot of fun. You can't go wrong.
What if I came in squeaky clean and it was just murderous? What would you say if it was squeaky clean?
I told you so.
I was like, I'm never doing it again.
I told you.
I'm gonna yell the F word the moment I get outside. I gotta get it out. I don't know how y'all do it.
It's really fun. It's so fun. Oh yeah.
Is it bleeping fun?
Is bleeping fun. There's like this little edge, this little tension, and it's just experiencing it's the best. It really is.
Is it? Why?
You'll see.
All right. And I'm going to try. No, I'm not even going to mention that I don't do. I'm just going to go up there like I always do clean comedy.
You should.
I'm not going to mention it. I'm not going to say, I want to say that. I'm just going to go up there. Boom.
Yeah. I know. And you're going to
I need to start practicing.
It's going to be amazing.
Need to start practicing. This Friday, I think I'll do some of the set clean on Friday just to get tuned up.
Yeah. It'll take you one show to get tuned up. I'm telling you, you're already there. Just a couple tweaks, and I can't wait.
You can't wait. Why? You think I'm gonna go clean?
I don't know if you're gonna do that.
Are you trying to convert me? Are you trying to convert me?
No, but I will say that's up to the comic. I never try to steer or tell people what they should do with their comedy career. But I will say you do open yourself up to a lot more gigs and opportunities because it's another tool in your toolbox. So there's corporate work out there and other clean shows and other ways to bless people with laughter and make money at the same time when you become a versatile player, right? In the NFL, there we go. Right, the player
there's no two-way players in the NFL.
There's on the offensive line, which my son was on the offensive line. When you can play more than one position on the offensive line, you are a more valuable player to them in the NFL than if you cannot.
On the line, you're right. You're right.
So
I need to have more positions.
More positions in the game.
Yeah. Yeah, because I have turned them down.
Yeah.
Or pass them off to Winston like, hey, he does it. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
It's just lazy.
And he's not squeaky clean. I trust me. He's cleanish.
He better be. He better be. I don't want. He better not be. Is he cursing on your shows? He better not be.
Very little.
I couldn't imagine if me and Winston did a clean show. God. Ugh.
I know.
It's not possible. It's not possible.
It is possible.
It's not. I would mess it up. It would be me. He would look at me like, don't do it.
I did toy around with the idea of putting you all on the same show. But then I thought, no. Because then I was reminded that when I'm around people that talk a lot and we're at meetings or whatever, they have to split us apart. And that happens a lot. So I was thinking that's probably not the best idea. I should probably have Chris come by himself first, and
one day,
and then we'll play around, we'll play around with that. So I was like, he's going to get his feet wet, he's going to slay it, and then I can bring him back and put him and Winston together.
I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah,
because I honestly I need to do it. There's a lot of people I went to church with back home that would love to go. They're my mom's age group. And it would be nice if I went back this summer and said, hey, everybody, I'm doing a clean show.
Yeah. Yeah. Winston has that with his mom. His mom only comes to his shows when he's on our shows.
What a bee.
So whenever he's performing with us, she likes to come because it's a clean show. Oh
boy. I have to give it a try. I have to give it a try. I have the all or nothing mindset with this too, because I don't want to become a clean comic. And it's just like, but I have to tell myself I don't have to be. But I still have that mindset of like, if I switch over, then I can't go back to the. That's not the case.
You can totally, absolutely. Yeah. Winston does it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do a lot of other comics too.
You're making me uncomfortable. That's why I know I have to do it, because I'm like, you know what I'm saying?
Also, too, just food for thought. If you ever want to do cruise ships, right? If you ever want to do comedy on cruise ships, they like to you need 90 minutes of material and different. I can't remember all the different sets right now off the top of my head.
Yeah, I have one of those agents.
Yeah, cleanish.
I'm not
they
interested.
like dirted. Yeah.
So
they like both.
Yeah, they do. I don't. My thing. I don't. I will stand firm on this. At least where I'm not telling family jokes. I'm not getting on a cruise ship to tell jokes around children. I'm not gonna. That's me. I'm not doing that. I'm an adult. Like that's the thing. That's the one thing that's weird to me about clean comedy. It's just like, why do I have to talk this way around adult? I get it, but that's just a personal thing for me. It's just like I don't speak that way naturally. That's why I'll veer away from it, because I don't speak in a clean manner. And I know, I feel like it's a really lazy excuse. It really is, because like we don't cuss at work. You know, at work, you know, you can watch them out there.
Right.
But see, the military, I didn't have to.
Yeah. Back to that.
Yeah, see, I didn't have to. That's why I don't like getting dressed up. I don't. And you might know that from a lot of military people. A military guy retired, he ain't gonna dress up for nothing. It's like, I worn a uniform for 20 years. It's gonna take a work of God to get me in a tie and a pair of slacks. Not doing it. I'm very defiant, but all right, sorry. I know you got to probably get going.
Yeah, we do.
I'm excited for the. I'm excited. This has been fun. Yeah, he's probably got to cut this down. This is like a Rogan episode.
I know. We'll get it done. And as we wrap up here, Chris, before we get out of here, how best can the Laughers follow you on social media or otherwise to connect with you and get more information?
You can find me at Chris Allen Comedy on all things social media at Chris Allen Comedy, ALAN. My YouTube page. I have another podcast called The New OGs. It's me and my good friend Jamal Dowell, who is a barbershop owner / business owner. And we've always had interesting conversations in the shop, and we decided to get a podcast together. So it's real people having real conversations about all types of things. We talk to like local business people. We talk to people from all walks of life in Charlottesville. You know, we just love talking to people, getting their perspective on life. We had a very interesting episode where dude named John, and not to get graphic, but like when it comes to like certain activity, Black men can be very quiet about things that they're into in the bedroom. Right. And this guy is divulging some very like taboo things. And we got a lot of great feedback. I mean, he's very open about his activities. And I just think like that it's great to have a Black man talking about that kind of stuff to end some of the bigotry and just some of the stigmatism behind, you know, how he lives his lifestyle. We talked to all types of people, like local athletes, just all types of people, just really trying to broaden the horizon and just learn from one another. Like you're saying, just learning to listen to one another. And it's been a lot of fun. So the New OGs, I got my Chris Allen show. I'm producing Don't Tell here in Charlottesville. We're at the mic every Monday. So yeah, I'm all over the place. So yeah, I'm on all the social media platforms. Check out my podcast, come to a show, watch something. Yeah, I'm everywhere. And March 13th, we'll be at the Massanutten Resort.
Club. Yep, Comedy Club.
Comedy Club, doing my cleanest set about my family.
Yeah.
This is all going to be family stuff. I'm talking about my dad. I lost my grandmother a couple years ago. Yeah. I'm talking about that. So that's the kind of stuff I'm going to be talking about. I'm excited, and I can't wait, and I appreciate you guys having me.
You better believe it. Thank you so much for coming on today and sharing.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We went through a lot of different topics.
I'm so sorry if this is too long. I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's fine. No, it's going to be great. I love talking to people, and it's been a joy to have you on the show. So thanks again, Chris.
Oh, I appreciate you. I learned a lot about you too, man. I'm excited. I feel like we are building a community. I feel like we're building something here, and I'm excited that we're building something here. I'm so excited. I'm excited for you guys, and I really believe that you guys are going to be huge in the comedy business.
Thank you.
We might both be sitting on piles of money as a clean producer.
All right.
Doing a clean show. You never know.
You never know what's going to happen. But I'm excited to see it. I'm excited. Massanutten Resort's, doing this, and they're so excited. And the excitement is really exploding already, and we're just kicking off this Thursday. So I'm pumped about that. It's in their Elevations Lounge, which is their whiskey bar. It seats about 50 people. It'll be small. It'll be intimate. It'll be crazy fun. So we will put a link in the show notes for you. You can grab Laughers tickets to this show. You won't want to miss it. See him spread his wings as a cleanish comic Thursday, March 13th in the Shenandoah Valley. You won't want to miss this. And also, Laughers, thank you for tuning in today and spending time with us. Don't forget to share, like, and spread the word. Subscribe to this podcast and let them know that we're out here sharing this crazy fun content, and catch more episodes because there's going to be more of them coming throughout the year. Also, remember, you can get a free audiobook. It's waiting for you on Audible with a free trial. Just hit the link in the notes. As an Audible creator, I do need to let you know I earn a commission when you sign up through this link, but it's no cost to you, and it supports the work of this podcast and the work we're doing with comedy to bring more of it to the Shenandoah Valley. So we thank you from the bottom of our heart. And lastly, and most importantly, thanks for tuning in, Laughers. Out of all the podcasts out there, you picked us, and we think that's pretty darn special, just like you. Until next time, keep smiling. Bye.
Peace.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Virginia is for Laughers podcast, brought to you by the Funny Womacks and Friends. We'll be dropping a new podcast every Wednesday, so check back for another uplifting episode. Come to a FWAF show or let us bring one to you. To find out more, head to thefunnywomacks.com. Be sure to share this podcast with a friend, and until next time, cheers.